Hello guys, MikuChibi here. Welcome back to another Sword Art Online interactive video, and today we can have a look at Silica's birthday order. And happy birthday to Silica, it is her birthday. And we can see here, this is her banner, and sure about it, it is a step up banner with 3 steps. Step 1, you have 50%, step 2, regular price, and step 3, a guaranteed random Silica skill. And you can see that we have increased drop rate, 1.3 for new featured Silica and 2.0 for the featured Silica, and these are the 2 new birthday skill. We have an access passive skill, 2 Whirlwinds Silica, and a full burst dagger skill, never apart Silica slash and fire. And of course, we can have a look and see what they do and then talk about if this banner worth or not. So, the first skill we can have a look at is 2 Whirlwind Silica, which has enhanced HP, flame boost, and tailwind and BSEC. So, enhanced HP 3, max HP plus 10%, flame boost 4, element damage other than fire dealt to enemies minus 50, and fire element damage to enemy plus 40%. Focus on fire element, good. Tailwind 6, switch gauge amount plus 15% when equipped with no US skill in the same set. And while access skill is activated, BSEC 4, damage done to enemy weak to slashing plus 25%. Alright, not the best passive, doesn't have any power rise or something like that. I'm not sure what can be really useful. Maybe axe can be useful here, fire axe build, or I'm not sure how good this passive is gonna be, but 50% extra switch gauge is alright, not the best. Max HP plus 10%, that is nothing, still small. And flame boost 4 is probably the only thing that is really good here. 40% fire element damage, pretty good. Next one we have never apart Silica, a dagger skill with fire loiter skill animation for SP, slash and fire, 50-second cooltime, 48 switch gauge, 44 break gauge. So when you use it normally, you will deal 1470% damage to hit single target. It gives weak slash 4 debuff, slash element weakness, damage plus 25% for 8 seconds, good. Fire element enhance 4, fire element damage plus 9% for 50 seconds, pretty good. To activate the burst, you need to do fire slash fire fire, and if you want to max limit break this one, you'll then remove this and only need to do fire slash fire. It has a 15-second cooltime, 48 switch break, and 88 break gauge, pretty good. Damage 4000, 90% damage to hitting a target. Bonus attack plus 1500 against enemy with a blunt element, basically enemy that is weak to slash. Bonus attack plus 100% against enemy with status element, poison, burn, bleed, frostbite. Pretty good if you can apply element on the boss. That 100% attack is a lot, really good. And can activate without using SP, nice. So this is one of the strongest full bursts for fire dagger. We do have, I'm pretty sure this is her second full burst that is active. Her other full burst is Holy One. So now we have a fire, which should be good and maybe be useful for any slash fire content, for example Chaos Showdown. But I'm pretty sure some of the players prefer using sword instead of dagger, but it depends. I mean, it looks really strong. It depends if the attack scales better than the sword, which scale with defense. And the rates, we have 0.054, better than Asuna, but still it's gacha, so anything can happen. Step 3, we have 50% chance to get the featured and 0.675 for non-featured. Alright, so let's have a look on other Silica skills. For Silica skill, we have many. We have Mod, Connect, Axle, Awakening, Burst, Full Burst, Fodder, Support, Passive, Ring, Limited Skill, Free Skills, and other skills that I think that are really worth it to get or using. But when it comes to early game, any skill works because story mode or story quests, they are really easy to do, really easy to beat. But when it comes to like end game content, there are only a few skills that can be really useful. Except for mod, I will say most of these mods are pretty bad right now if you compare to other slash weapon, for example sword. The only that is really good at the moment is this one. This Silica here is really good. This one is much stronger than this one. Like this is really old and really useless at the moment, but this one is now a power cred, more powerful. So I would say this is the only mod skill that is worth it. But if you want to main dagger, I want to go for DPS dagger, any mod skill works, they are still fine. Now when it comes to the connect skill for Silica, there aren't that many good options other than I would say this is a good one, but it doesn't apply element, which is sad. The only thing it can do really useful is applying more stacks to the element on the boss already. So if you have a skill that can apply elements, with this skill it will apply even more stacks into it, so it can be really useful. For example, GOG, if you want to max the stacking in 10 seconds or 20 seconds, can be really useful. Other than that, we do have these two. These two are connect skill. The only thing I will say bad about this one is that even though it's really useful to apply elements, it has long animation, so not that many really like it. And once they have long animation, that means you have a chance to get hit or getting knocked back, so you can't really apply more stacks into the boss. And then we have an offensive connect skill. That means it will deal damage every single linked skill into it. It is really good if you want to deal damage with connect skill. For Axel, she only has one active axe skill and the rest is passive. Now for this one, this is kind of useful. It applies debuff that reducing enemies attack, can be really good for boss or GG, can be really useful. Awakening, mostly these awakening are buff, stack or debuff. We have two weak defense debuff. This is weak defense 5 and this one is weak defense 4. Really useful, really good. You can put it on Koharu, she can apply the defense reduction, or you can use this for yourself to help your party members or GOG. Then we have attack buff, useful. Then we have 2 stacking, and if you know how to use stack, they can be really useful, really good. Then we have this one, I believe is called Snack Break Silica. This one is really useful if the enemy has high resistance to bleed and poison. With this skill it can reduce that, so it can be really useful. For burst, we do have a really strong burst and one for utility. This one is a really strong slash wind dagger burst, can be really useful for any slash wind content. If you don't have strong sword build, so this one can be an option to use. Back in the days, this one wasn't that really useful, but now when it comes to endgame content nowadays as of 2024, this one has become really useful and really popular for dagger tanking. When it comes to newer bosses, they apply element on you, and with this burst, you can actually heal off those elements on yourself, so it's really useful. Let's say an enemy apply poison on you, 15 stacks, you use this skill on burst. It will remove the element and also heal you for the amount of stacks you had on yourself. Really useful, so it is really good. Full burst, really strong, and you know how full burst is. Full burst is the current meta, this is really strong. But when it comes to slash content, sword is much better. And if you don't have really strong sword, you can use dagger if you do get this one. When it comes to Silica, she doesn't have that many good dagger fodders, but you can still use these. This one, if you want to play Suicide Dagger, can be really useful. And this one is just a regular DPS fodder for your dagger mod. Support skill, she has only 3 in my opinion. This one can be really good if you need to apply Death Mark to deal double damage, can be really good for a party, or if you can give it to Koharu, can be also useful. Just keep in mind this one has to be on Switch to be really useful. Then we have an Easter Egg Silica. This one is really good when it comes to breaking. If an enemy has a break, like dagger or slash holy or holy break, this one is really good, really strong because it has a high break gauge, really good, really useful. And then we have another Death Mark on dagger, still really good, really useful. For passive, Silica has actually a lot of power rise. This is power rise 3, 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 and power rise 3. So many of power rise 3 that you can get, and can be really useful if you need a power rise. So she has many power rise for different elements. And then we have a really good passive for slash content, really good. And then we have Advanced Reaper 5, full burst, can be useful, and this is in standard, so you can get in standard as well. And then we have Silica for stacking or giving defense, really good synergy with Kirito, I believe. One of his older skill is kinda good with this one. And then we have the rings. Rings, basically the ones you want to equip on your ring for element resistant. This one can be good for sleep rest, and these two here, Ballet, Silica, and Tamer Silica, I believe it's called. These two have the petrified resistance, really good. And then we have the limit skill. This one was only available during solo ranking event, which was back in 2018. So if you do have this one, you are really lucky because it's limited. It has not coming back yet, so it's kind of rare, but pretty weak. Not that really useful. Just good for collection. And then we have the free ones that you can complete on the floor of SubQuest. This one is from SubQuest, I believe, and these two are from floor. And the rest are pretty much meh, decent, or bad. But yeah, so these are all the Silica skill that you can get on her birthday banner. Now, the question is this banner worth the summon on? When it comes to Silica, she doesn't have like skills that appeal that much. I mean, if you just look at her other skills, some of them are good for sure, but I don't think it's really worth to get any of this Silica skill unless you really love to play dagger or want to be support. I mean, when it comes to some of the skill, like for example this is amazing if you don't have weak defense 5. Burst skill is somewhat, I prefer using full burst sword instead of dagger, because that sword is easier to build around with defense, and here you need to build a lot of attack. Yeah, I mean, some skill are good, most of them bad. So I would say it is up to you if you really like to use dagger, if you want to play around dagger. Silica has one of those skills that are towards dagger, but there are also some other dagger user, for example Koharu, Filia. Those are other options that you can choose. So it is up to you. If you're a new player that really love to play around dagger, these are good banners to do. Otherwise, if you're a player that will want to invest for late game content or play for long term, dagger isn't the best. You should focus more into sword. Sword is easy to build and has highest damage scaling. The full burst skill, really good. Passive, I'm not sure. I don't think it's that good. Can be decent. And new players that really love to play around dagger, definitely worth the poll. Otherwise, keep saving. We do have more banner coming soon, so stay tuned for that. You can also wait for Kirito's birthday, see what they do offer. So that's for me. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time. Take care now, and bye bye.